When you learn to play football, you learn the other way around. You learn first execution, after decision making, and perception comes in last. And I have worked with players from all over the world, from all kinds of cultures. I played one time with a team from 11 different countries, you know. So I'm confronted with many, many, many different cultures. And our problem is, once a circuit is printed in your brain, we as managers who speak to top-level people, we find it extremely difficult to change that circuit in the brain. That means, what does that mean? Basically, when you educate a young boy, you have to make sure that you do not harm the perception, because they learn first the execution. From 5 to 12 years old, you learn the ball has to become your friend. What does it mean to become your friend? Is no matter where the ball comes from, he is welcome. He's my friend, and I put him down, and I say, welcome, my friend, now I do what I want with you. You know, and, but during that stage, we have to make sure that you don't kill the perception. And I've seen so many players. I was confronted with talents all over the world. With some you are successful, with some not. But I lost many people because they had their head on the ball. And they don't see what's happening around them, you know. And you feel always, you go home and you're sad because you think, how can I find an exercise that gets his head up before he gets the ball, that gets him scanning. And in fact, the great players, when you watch them, isolated from the ball, you see that the head is like a radar. It's always tuck, 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 tuck. It moves right, left, forward, backwards. They have a geography of a pitch in their mind, always. And that makes the difference between normal and the great players.
And here we're talking about the perception of the players, not your perception as...
My perception, a perception of the players on the football pitch. And I tried then to, how do I call that? And I call that scanning. And I try to see what happens to a player in the 10 seconds before he gets the ball. How many times does he take information? And what is the quality of information he takes? And of course you have different times available. When you play at the back, we have 1 to 2 seconds to make a decision. When you play in midfield, you have 0.5 to 0.2 seconds to make a decision. When you play completely in the final third, you have 0.1 to 0.2 seconds to make the decision. So the perception has, the speed of perception has of course to change as well. And I realized we installed cameras everywhere, you know, because it's so complicated to see how many times you scan, because you have to analyze the movement of the eye as well, because before you get the ball, you can just sometimes look at the socks. And we worked with 200 students to tell you how difficult it was. 50% gave up after 3 weeks, because it's such a tremendous work that, and we made a complete study with a Norwegian university. And in fact, what is very interesting is that the good players, the very good players, scan 6 to 8 times in the last 10 seconds before they get the ball. And the normal players, 3 to 4 times. And the most underrated quality I've seen in my life is that the stamina and the motivation. I've seen so many average players become very good players who were really normal, but they were ready on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, and on Saturday. And I've seen so many fail because they were ready on Monday, but not on Tuesday, a little bit on Wednesday, and bye-bye, my friend. So it is absolutely an underrated quality, that stamina, what we call in France, in French, perseverance, you know, tenacity. The guys who don't give up, they are the guy who, when you sit alone at home on Friday night and you pick your team, you know you play your future there, you trust the guy, you know, who will give you 100%. And then there's another ingredient that is absolutely vital, is our scientists spoke about that, is resistance to stress. And when I speak resistance to stress, it is as well somewhere you have to walk in the dressing room and say, hello, my friends, from now on, I'm here, and you have to count with me. Because from now on, I will play in your team. Not many are capable of that. And I read recently an article from Bojan, who played in Barcelona, and he says, at 17 years of age, I was sitting in the dressing room, I was the next Messi, I was sitting next to Messi, I was thirsty, the bottle of water was 2 meters away from me, I didn't dare to get up and take it, because I was too shy. Just means it is a kind of personality as well, but is in a world of sharks, you know, where you have to say, my friends, I'm here to take my place. And it's part of it. It's part of a successful life.